The comments from candidate Wes Moore.
These were blocks that we knew.
The other Wes Moore was really a story about both my life and the life of another guy who, also came up in Baltimore.
I'm a very, very proud Baltimore resident and Baltimore native.
Sparking frustration and the family of the other Wes Moore to speak up.
That was deception. So we feel exploited on top of exploitation, on top of exploitation. And I think that someone has to be held accountable. It starts with Wes Moore.
Not just that he lied about, about the Baltimore situation. It's just the way that he handled the whole situation, period.
Candidate Wes doubling down on his commitment to running, despite video evidence showing contrary to his words on page 166 of his own book, Moore did not grow up in West Baltimore.
We know that you weren't born and raised in Baltimore. You didn't grow up in West Baltimore, so why did you let that narrative continue for so many years?
Well, I don't think I'd let the narrative continue, but even when I came back, I spent much of my time in all the various Baltimore, to include West Baltimore.
Right.
And so when I talked about the idea of how we're comparing poverty and what poverty looks like, it was because I was speaking as a collective.
Now, the other Wes's family calling on candidate Wes to stop the narrative, and even stop his bid for governor.
If you ask me, I think he should cancel his campaign, and it has nothing to do with politics, whether he would be running for governor or not running for governor. But he should be wanting to make that wrong or right.
In a crowded field of the other Democrat candidates, most staying out of the issue as the race continues to inch closer to Election Day in July.
Do you think he should step down or step aside out of this race?
That'll be a decision for Wes Moore to make. What I have said to people across the state is it's really important for every candidate, for every voter, I should say, to take a careful look at all the candidates, for every candidate. The issue for voters is going to be, can I trust the person I'm going to vote for to be that governor, to deliver on the things that matter most to me?
Can voters trust you?
Oh, I think so, and I invite you to study my record.
The family of the other Wes Moore called for candidate Wes Moore to drop out of the race. What do you think about that?
No comment.
What do you think about the idea that it was perhaps exaggerated?
I'm not going to comment on that. Obviously, you have your own reporting going on.
John Barron, another candidate, not addressing if Moore should drop out, but issuing a statement, writing, quote, "I have no personal knowledge of the facts in this situation, but I know honesty and integrity of all gubernatorial candidates and ultimately the next governor are of great importance to voters." Other candidates, including Doug Gansler, John King, Rashawn Baker, not responding. In this complaint filed with the State Elections Board and state prosecutor, the Moore campaign accuses the King campaign of being behind the dossier, which includes information about Moore potentially not growing up in the city. But where Moore called home isn't the only thing Fox 45 News is investigating.
Wes Moore.
In 2010, Wes Moore appearing on ABC's The View, part of his book tour promoting the book that centered around the death of an off-duty Baltimore County Police Sergeant, Bruce Prothero.
There's actually a significant portion of proceeds are going to two different nonprofits. One is called the U.S. Dream Academy, which supports kids of the incarcerated, kids who have one or both parents inside of prison. And the other is an organization called City Year, which helps to support young people and teaches them about the importance of community service.
Dream Academy, a nationwide effort, works with one school in Baltimore City. And City Year is in 29 locations, but not Baltimore.
What about the proceeds of the book? Nothing to the family? Do they need the money?
Well, I've actually have reached out to the family about that, and it was their choice that it goes to these organizations.
Sergeant Prothero's brother Rick and widow Ann tells me that's not true, writing in a statement to Fox 45 News, quote, "Ann has never received any compensation or directed any proceeds from the book to go to any charity, cause, or organization." Fox 45 News asking the nonprofits if Moore has donated any proceeds of the book to them since publishing in 2010. No response. We've asked to see Moore's tax returns to see those charitable donations. Instead, the Moore campaign points us to his financial disclosure forms, calling it the most transparent out of any gubernatorial candidate. But the disclosures don't include charitable donations, so we're still asking to see the taxes. The Moore campaign says he will continue to support these nonprofits. Meanwhile, our request for a formal interview with Moore continues to go ignored. In Baltimore, Mackenzie Frost, Fox 45 News.